My dad spent my whole life wishing I was a boy. Then one phone call made him need me. Growing up, I always felt like I was the child my dad never wanted. He had dreamed of having a son, but instead he got me. And somehow I spent my entire childhood trying to prove that having a daughter wasn't a disappointment. I got good grades, helped around the house, learned everything he wanted me to learn, and even gave up things I loved just to make him proud. But no matter what I accomplished, it was never enough. Whenever I achieved something, he'd barely react. But whenever someone mentioned having a son, I'd see that look on his face. Ouch. Eventually, I stopped trying. I left home, found a small place of my own, got a job, and started building a life without waiting for my father's approval. It hurt, but I learned to live with it. Then one night, my mom called me, and her voice immediately told me something was wrong. My dad had been hit by a car and was in critical condition. The doctors needed a very rare blood type, O negative. The hospital didn't have enough available, and they were desperately searching for a match. My mom asked if I'd be willing to get tested. I said yes without even thinking. A few minutes later, the doctor came back and said, "You're a perfect match." I didn't hesitate. I donated my blood, and when I found out the hospital bills were overwhelming my mom, I used my savings to pay them. I wasn't doing it because I suddenly wanted my dad's approval. I did it because, despite everything, he was still my father. When he finally woke up, he asked who had donated the blood. My mom told him. Then she told him I'd paid the hospital bills too. He just stared at her and started crying. When I walked into his room, he looked at me for what felt like the first time in my entire life. He reached for my hand and whispered, "I spent so many years wishing you were someone else, when I should have been grateful that I had you." I didn't know what to say. For the first time, he wasn't comparing me to the son he'd always wanted. He was looking at me as his daughter. His recovery took months, but our relationship slowly changed. He started calling just to ask how I was doing. He celebrated my achievements. He listened. And eventually, he told me something I never thought I'd hear. "I'm proud of you." I had spent years believing I needed to become someone else to earn my father's love, but in the end, he was the one who had to change. And maybe the biggest lesson I learned was this: you shouldn't have to spend your entire life proving that you're worthy of being loved by your own parent.